Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Manifest Season 3, Episode 4. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, you one of my peoples, welcome back. So, this was an interesting episode. We learned more and more about the Flight 828ers, the plane, and the tailspin. We didn't learn everything, but we learned a lot more. So, ever since Ben touched the tail fin when he was in Cuba, his hand has been doing this like glowing type situation. And his handprint was left on the fin. So it's like he has some kind of connection to it. So of course he calls Tanvi. She's a doctor. She knows what's going on. So he's like, it feels like that the tail fin is beckoning me to it. It's like this strong urge to go to it. Well, they have to call Vance because like, okay, we need your help. Something else is going on. Well, Vance is still upset that Ben did not do like he said and just sit aside. I'm going to get out of this situation on my own. But y'all know Ben. Ben was not going to sit there and let Vance sit in international prisons if he can do anything about it. But Vance was like, I had already laid my release out. I was going to be out. But you went ahead and did this and you got the whatever government agency he was working for back involved and everything. So now he back involved. And Vance shows Ben and Sanji the majority of the plane and the tail fin that is secured behind the shield. I was wondering what the significance of that was. Because I'm like, wow, we got it all here behind the shield. What is so important about this tail fin? But we get to that in a little bit later. Now, Zeke, he has been having these episodes to where he can like feel what people are going through. He's been having these episodes ever since he, I want to say, escaped his death date. And Beverly, she's having one of her dementia episodes, don't know what's going on, don't know who anybody is. And Zeke was able to feel it. He was able to see himself in her being scared and confused, not knowing anybody and not knowing what was going on. So he was able to like calm her down because he knew what she was feeling like. I was like, oh, so this is what he's been going through. We kind of sort of saw that last episode when like he was talking to Beverly and he had this like weird look about him. Is because he can now experience how people are feeling and understand what they're going through. So he was able to calm Beverly down, and I'm pretty sure that is a huge task to deal with. Somebody who has dementia, who doesn't know that their loved ones have passed away, kind of confused as to who you are and thrown off from their routine. It would be probably difficult to take care of a person like that. You gotta have a strong mind to take care of a person that is suffering from dementia or any kind of memory loss. Michaela and Zeke helped Pete, the kidnapper, who got caught, with his calling because his death date is approaching. Now, I thought that they had been gone for a year. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it doesn't seem like they've been back for a year, but then again, I could be wrong. You know, Angelina, she's been going to see Pete because she feels that something is connecting them together. It was already strange enough that, you know, they were both in a picture and didn't realize when they were younger and didn't realize it. So, Michaela and Zeke, they go to Pete's coach. Now, the coach lets him know that Pete was a good kid, but everything changed when Pete sold drugs to one of his, it's not one of his teammates, and the teammate ended up overdosing. When approached by police and everything, Pete said it was all him, nobody else was involved. The two other kidnappers had nothing to do with his brother And I'm gonna call them head kidnapping dude and Afro kidnapping dude, because I do not remember that. I think it's like a Joey or a Joe or something like that. You know, the crazed out looking kidnapper, which is head kidnapper dude, and Afro dude is like, okay, we need to change our way. We've been brought back from the dead. We need to do something different. Head kidnapper dude, he's not trying to hear any of that. So we find out that ever since the plane blew up in season 1, the pieces have been held at this facility. And that the tail fin just up and vanished one day. It ended up being fished out of the water in Cuba. Now they got to explain to them that the corrosion suggests that it had been underwater for 7 years. How do we explain that? Because what is going on? And they like, how can that be if the tail fin was on the plane that we was on? That's not making any sense. Well, it also vanished the night that Zeke cheated his death date and that the major disappeared. So now Safi got it in her head that she is responsible. She is relaying this to Vance like, the night I accidentally took out the mayor, this when all this happened. Zeke, you know, he froze, then came back to life. The doggone kidnappers, you know, they drowned. Cal almost drowned. Did she have anything to do with this? And at this point, I'd be kind of questioning things too, because like things not making sense. Like this corrosion, how is it that this tail fin seemed like it had been in water for 7 years, and how did it up and disappear? It was doggone. It was like, well, maybe somebody hacked the security system and was able to take it out. I mean, that's possible, but then I'm pretty sure that facility is guarded heavily, so you can't just go in there, tinker with some doggone the security camera, then wheel it out. No, it just up and vanished, just poof, gone. So that's like, okay, what is really going on? Now, Michaela and Zeke, they go back to Pete the kidnapper. I shouldn't call him that, but so y'all know who I'm talking about. Pete the kidnapper. He helped kidnap Cal, so even though we look at him in a different light. Zeke, in his newfound power, senses that Pete is scared of somebody. Now, Pete comes clean, like, the coach was the one who was dealing and he wanted to quit after his teammate passed away. Pete was like, I don't want to do this no more. My teammate, my friend, he overdosed and died, and the coach was like, no, you gonna keep on doing this. And he actually beat him and like, I will kill you. It's like, what can we do? We these teenagers, I done already got accused of being a drug dealer. So who they gonna believe? This coach who been coaching for the past 15 years or some kid? I was like, yeah, I can understand why you would feel that way. And that kind of made me look at the kidnappers in a different light. Sure, I still think they raggedy because it was out here dealing drugs, you know, harming people and all that good, not good stuff, but all that stuff. And they kidnapped Cal. But then I look at it as they probably wouldn't went down that road had it not been for the coach. The coach is the one that got them out here dealing drugs. And I guess after that, they couldn't stop and was possibly still dealing drugs for the coach. I wouldn't be surprised if he was the one behind all this. Them was still dealing with the drugs. Like, you were the reason why our lives is like this. You the reason why we got arrested. You were the reason why we end up, you know, drowning and then coming back. Not so much as the coming back, the whole drowning situation when they kidnapped Cal and all that. Now, Ben's hand has been glowing since they've been in that facility. You know, he cannot show this to anybody because they're going to be poking and prodding him like he's some type of alien being. So, what can he do? But he touched the tail fin, nothing happened. So, he's like, something has to be off. Like, they not telling us everything that is going on. So he get to searching the facility, and he comes upon one of the fellow 828ers body, who is like, looks like it's some tubes connected, and she's like submerged in some type of liquid solution. So I'm like, what is really going on here? I thought it was gonna be like an alien at first, the way Ben was looking, but no. Yeah, Michaela and her partner, they go to talk to the coach, and when they get there, Afro kidnapping dude is being shot in the leg. He was shot by head kidnapper dude accidentally, because Afro kidnapper dude was like, we need to just stop this. Just we need to stop being bad. Like, we got us a second chance. Like, something is wrong with me. I've been doggone coughing up blood. I feel like I'm drowning. Head kidnapper dude was like, no, we need to, this man needs to stop. He needs to ruin our life. They get there, and, Afro kidnapper dude was like, his stash is over there. He been responsible. He didn't shoot me, but, he's basically what led us to where we are right now in our lives. And they found all kind of drugs and money. How did that get there? That's not mine. Like, there's neatly stacked bills of money rolled up in drugs, and it's not yours. So some other drug dealer just happened to like live at that house, or just happened to stash their stuff at your house and never came back and got it. Okay, coach. They took him to jail where he needed to be. So, Floating Lady, she had gone on to glory a year and a half before. She had been shot in the head. Ben remembers her on the plane. He remembers the case vividly. Well, the thing is, her injuries appeared to have been sustained in an explosion on an airplane in the air. And tropical algae has been found on her, which was also found on the tail fin, that was also found in the Caribbean. How does one explain this? Vance, he sends the doctor lady off, and Ben was like, I think we died on that plane, and we were resurrected. I'm like, I'm starting to believe that too, because then it's like they might come around and make a complete turn on us. Because I was like, yeah, like, where was y'all at all this long time? Y'all didn't age. Things has been weird since y'all been back. Y'all come back for a particular reason, because it seemed like since y'all came back, y'all have helped solve mysteries and reunited people and done a lot of things. But what it really was really going on. So he's like, I think we died. We landed right then and there. And I guess once they die again, their bodies will show that they died on a plane crash and not the way that they died, if that makes sense. Yes, but Vance tells Ben, it's only a matter of time for those people realize that it is your hand that matches the print on the tail fin. And then they're going to want to, they're going to draw blood, get samples, poke and prod, and do everything they can to figure out what is going on. Because they got the best of the best of the best here to figure out this plane situation, where it went, where was it this when it was gone those 5 years. How did it come back? Why is it that this tail fin that we had with us, when we got it back, it looked like it had algae on it? How did it disappear? How did it go to the Caribbean? A lot of things that we're questioning right now. And I was like, just when you think you're learning something, you get thrown a little curveball. But y'all, that was a just. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It's free all day, every day, free $99. Make sure your notifications are on to my beautiful face. Put up a video. You can click on it. You can like it and share it with your people. And you can come over and be one of my peoples. If you're already one of my peoples, welcome back. Y'all know what to do. Tell your people to tell their people to come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.